What's up, guys? I'm Haley Beanie, and today we are at Hard Truths by Hales. I am with Vero Holland.
Hi.
She wants to say hello. She is a online fitness coach, fitness influencer, and the owner of Booty Brunch and Bubbly and Vero Fitness Coaching. I'm so excited to have her with us today. This is my first podcast, so she's my first official guest on podcast, and I'm super stoked and grateful for that. So we're just going to kind of dive into her story, her journey with fitness, how she got into it, and everything and more. So let's just start off talking kind of about your background. Who is Vero? Like, what do you do? What's your story? How'd you get into fitness?
Yeah. So first off, thank you for the intro.
Of
Love
course,
that.
yeah.
So I actually started my fitness journey at 18. I got invited to a group workout. Excuse me. I got invited to a group workout and I fell in love with the environment. I never had done a group workout outside of sports prior.
Yeah.
I played volleyball and softball growing up. So I was used to, working out, being in a group setting. But when I got introduced to something outside of my sports, I was like, wow, this is actually really great. And I was 18 and I kind of got suckered into the multi-level marketing realm, right? And that was what the workout, those were the people who were hosting it. So it was really great, but that's what opened my eyes to the fitness realm. And then I just literally dove right in. I was like, I love this. I know I want to do this. I was going to school at the time. I wanted to be a nurse. And I knew I wanted to be a nurse because I knew I didn't want to be locked behind a desk all day, and I knew I wanted to help people, right? And so nursing, it just sounded good. It sounded great. I was like, okay, I could do that. Yeah. And then when I got introduced to the fitness realm and coaching, I was like, wait, I can do this. Like, I'm actually really great at this. Like, I enjoy this. I have a passion for it. But I will say it wasn't until I started to lose weight and I started to feel great was when I had a switch in my mind. And it was like, if I don't share this with people, I'm being selfish. It was like, I feel so great. I want other people to feel this high, this natural high that I'm feeling. And I just genuinely wanted to share it with everyone I ran into. So it was very, it was very natural for me to just kind of share and just genuinely want to help people, share what I was doing, invite them to the workouts that I was also going to. And, yeah, so that's kind of like the baseline of kind of where I started. Now I've been able to grow my own business. I've had multiple stages throughout my journey, and I'm sure we'll touch on that later. But I've been able to grow my business now where I'm completely solo. I've been running my own business for 2 years now, and I built a clientele where I coach hundreds of women. And it's just absolutely incredible. I started Booty Brunch and Bubbly because I strictly do online coaching. And I just felt that loss, like that loss of connection within my clients, right? I wanted to touch them, feel them, like just get to know them a little bit, just squeeze them and hug them and just acknowledge all their hard work. So I decided to do my first class, and at my first class I had 8 people. And it was just so great because those 8 people were all of my clients. And it wasn't even strangers. It wasn't girls that just wanted to hang out. Like it was very intimate and it was amazing. And I was like, man, like I did it and I saw the vision and I said, I really want to grow this thing and I want it just to be great. Like I want it to be a safe place for girls to come, have fun, me interact with my clients, get to know them more, and still like show them that, hey, you can have fun and still be on your fitness journey and just have a great time with the girls. So that's
you've created such a like great online community and just community in general of women. So it's super inspiring to see. What's the size of the women now that you have in your classes at Booty Brunch and Bubbly? Like,
so we started at 8 and we just had our last one 3 weeks ago now. And we had over 100 girls there.
Wow. That's crazy. And how old are you?
27.
27. Okay. That's like a lot to do at 27. I'm very impressed right now.
Thanks,
so
girl.
I'm 24 for reference, but just to see people like you have to be hungry and love what you do and get up and put an effort into everything, especially being online and having the presence that you have, like you have to show up every single day. So kind of give us like, how did you start growing that online community with people? How did you get people and grow this following?
So I started posting when I was in the multi-level marketing realm. And they kind of, I will say I took advantage of that situation. I learned a lot within that. I learned a lot about sales, marketing myself. So when I first started, I was posting on social media literally 3 to 5 times a day. I was posting on Instagram nonstop. And this was before Instagram stories were even a thing. So I was posting on Instagram nonstop. I was posting on Snapchat at the time. And I was just sharing what I was doing. And it was genuine.
Yeah. That's
like,
a full-time job, girl.
girl,
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But again, I was 18. I was hungry.
Yeah.
I was hungry and I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I just literally took a leap of faith. I went all in. I quit college.
Yeah.
A year and a half in, I literally, after like the first semester, I just sat with myself. The second semester back, I walked into my first class. I was sitting there and I was like, I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just something felt so wrong. I literally, that class ended. I walked to the office and I said, I need to withdraw. She said, okay.
She said, okay.
Okay. I was like, well, this is too easy.
Yeah. You had a calling for sure.
Yeah. And I was like, I just really genuinely feel like this is what I need to do. So, yeah. And I just literally hit the ground running from there, posting 5 times a day, nonstop. I was reaching out to people. I was the spammy sales girl. Yeah. It's so embarrassing, but
now you're on the other end of it.
Now I am. People reach out to me, yes, but at the beginning it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Girl, when I tell you, I was DMing at minimum 20 to 30 people every single day. Hey, if you or anyone you need help losing weight, let me know. I was going up to random people in the gym, Gold's Gym, at Target, like anyone I would see in workout clothes or anything, I'm like, hey girl, you like to work out? Like, come work out with me. Like, it was hustle mode. And that's all I knew. So it was just like boom, 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 going. And even to the day, I had someone reach out to me or comment on my post just a couple of days ago. She was like, girl, you went up to me at Gold's Gym years ago and I've been following you ever since. I'm so proud of you. I was like,
that's amazing. It's really amazing to see. And it's also, like, from my perspective too, even with social media management, I mean, I started walking into bars asking if I could run their stuff for free. So to sit and talk to someone you're build it from solely ground up and like from that drive, it wasn't like it was handed to you or anything, is super cool to see. And super, super inspiring.
Thank you.
So on that note,
let me cough it out.
Oh, you're good.
Cut that.
Yeah, cut that out. Was there a pivotal moment when you realized that fitness was more than just like a personal passion, but and I guess you told me that, well, when you wanted to share with others, was that pivotal moment kind of when you were sitting in class? Was it like, you know what, like, I'm going full throttle. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I was sitting in class and I knew I didn't want to be a nurse at that point.
Yeah.
And I knew I was genuinely going to school just to make my parents happy.
Yeah.
And then I sat with myself and I was like, they're not paying for my school. I am,
Yeah. How did your parents feel when you left? Like, what was that? How
Girl.
did you? Yeah. I'm like, give us more on that.
So at the time I was living with my dad and my parents were split. I was living with my dad and our agreement was, as long as you're going to school, you don't have to pay rent and I'm going to pay half of your car.
Yeah.
So basically, like, I pay and he paid my insurance. Yeah. So all the bills I had was paying half of my car note.
Yeah.
And so that was our agreement. And he made that very clear. And I said, okay. So I could have lied to him. Yeah. And I could have been like, oh, I'm going to school every day. No, that evening at dinner, I sat down with him and I was like, hey, I need to tell you something. I withdrew from school today. He said, you did what?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And he goes, okay, you're going to have to pay for everything. You're going to have to pay this amount in rent. You're going to have to pay your car note and your insurance. And I said, okay. But mentally I was prepared for that. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for that because my dad instilled 2 things in me very young. 1, never rely on a man, period. And then 2, do not mess up your credit. Yeah. So I knew, even though the car wasn't in my name, I didn't know this at the time, right? Yeah. But I was like, I cannot be late on these payments. Right. And I think I was 19 at that point. And I just knew, I was like, okay, I'm going to make my payments. I'm going to hustle. Like, I need to make this money to pay my dad. Like, I can't disappoint him. Yeah. You know?
And I feel like having the pressure of like, I don't have anything backing me or to support me. And so I feel like it kind of pushes you.
Absolutely. Your back's against the wall. Like, you have no option but to win. Right. You have no option but to make it work.
And I'm sure that translates into your coaching and how you resonate with girls. Because you have to, I feel like, when you step into coaching too, it's one thing to be a coach and like be knowledgeable and tell people things, but I feel like you have to be able to be empathetic and connect
and relate
and energetically, work with these women. Yeah. So, that's amazing. So how did you navigate the early days of building an online? Like, how did you do both? How did you navigate kind of being consistent online and then also building this business and this brand?
So I didn't think of it as 2 separate entities. I thought of it as one. Yeah. So me posting on social media, me like that. I knew that was my bread and butter when it came to building my business. So that was my work. And I still think of that as the day. Me doing my daily vlogs, me posting on my stories. Like that's my work also for the day.
Yeah.
On top of all the client check-ins, on top of all the lead inquiries, reaching out and stuff like that. Like it's all in one. And yeah, it's a lot. But when you think of it as like, oh, I can let this go, or like I don't have to do this today, that's when you start to fail.
Right.
Like, but when you think of it as like, no, this is my job, I have to get this done.
Right.
Because I'm self-employed, right? I don't have someone telling me what to do.
Right.
So I have to be able to tell myself like, no, girl, this is what you have to do for the day. Get your shit done or you're fired.
Right.
You know?
And I feel like also like you are the brand, you know, you are the one connecting, you are the one creating these relationships. People are wanting to work with you.
Yes.
And so having to show up to just how do you manage like kind of keeping your mental health in check, making sure like, okay, I'm showing up for all these people, but also you have to put on a face and you have to connect, and like, how do you kind of find time to like ground yourself and help yourself internally? You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and just to be completely real, I've been going through a breakup this month.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just moved this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot, and it's a lot to show up for yourself, let alone hundreds of girls. You know, so what I do is I have to tell myself on the weekends, those are my time. Like I'll still reply to my clients. I'll still do that. But posting is minimum. If it's like, I'm not putting effort into my posts. Like I'll post on my story. Like I'll post like maybe cute pictures.
Yeah.
But I'm not like putting a lot of effort. And I kind of have this like 5 to 2 rule, right? 5 days I'm grinding, I'm working, I'm doing it. And then the weekends, like I'm literally letting loose. I'm relaxing a little bit. Yeah. And even with Booty Brunch and Bubbly, that's on the weekend, but it's fun to me. It doesn't even feel like work.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that I'm able to do and like just really mentally disconnect and recharge. Because I'm a big believer in you can't fill someone else's cup if you can't fill yourself.
Right.
You cannot pour onto others if you cannot pour into yourself.
Right.
So I really had to sit with myself and like, girl, take care of you. Like for example, moving, I've low-key have not responded to clients in like 2-3 days. And you know, but I let them know ahead of time, hey, this is what's going on. Please be patient with me. And I am open and honest with them so they can have an understanding too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm human.
Yeah.
I can only do so much. I love my girls and they know that. And I hope they know that.
Yeah.
And I'm not ignoring them just because, but because girl, coach needs it. If you want me to show up for you, I need to show up for myself right now.
100%. And I think in any business, whether you're a photographer, a videographer, a coach, anything where you're like, you know, you are the brand and doing these things, it's super important, I think, like, just to be honest. Yes. I feel like people are scared to be honest about saying they're having a difficult time or, hey, you know, I have a lot going on right now. But what I've recognized working with clients into is I get worried I'm not going to have a project ready on time or, hey, my video turnaround's not going to be as fast. You know, I'm going through this. I've come to realize that when I'm super honest and authentic, that it like humanizes it in a way.
Yeah.
And they're not kind of seeing it as this like transactional thing. They're seeing it like, okay, like she's a human, she has her own life. And so it's interesting that you say that because I think honesty is just best policy. Like be real, be open to people. And I feel like that's also just a way to like build a community.
And connect. Because part of my work too, you know, I'm like, part therapist, part fitness coach,
People
right?
expect a lot from you.
They do. Yeah. And it is a lot. Excuse me. It is a lot. Oh my gosh.
You're fine. You want to hold your water too. I'm like,
yeah, I'm good. It's just like, these allergies. I was like, girl.
Me too.
Yeah, it is a lot dealing with the emotional side of things as far as the physical. And, you know, think about it. Why do people want to hire a trainer? They have special events, a wedding, a vacation, which is the fun, right? Yeah. But also they want that revenge body. They're going through some stuff or they hit rock bottom and they just really need that emotional support and that accountability. And that's what I provide, you know?
Yeah, so, you're doing both, girl.
Girl, yeah. And I really have to be able to show up for them in that sense. And so I love to really just like, even sharing my story. Yeah. Like, girl, I've been through the ups, the downs in my journey. I've had surgeries. I've had losses in the family. My mom's had cancer. Like there's been times over the last 8 years that I've been on my fitness journey myself that, I might not look the best or I'm dealing with hormonal issues and I gained 40 pounds in like 3 months and it's scary and it's hard to navigate. And like, I can tell them like, girl, I've been there. I've done this. I can help you through this. Just trust me.
Yeah. It takes a a lot of strength to be that vulnerable though with people. And I think it's rare that I come across people that are okay being that vulnerable and sharing their journey. And so I kind of want to lead this into the social media side of things. How do you deal, because you said you fluctuate weights. Me too. I have PCOS. I fluctuate weights. And I feel like you have such a large scale of people with an eye on you, also because you're a fitness influencer, you're a beautiful woman. How do you kind of deal with the pressure of that? How do you see when you post something you don't overanalyze? Like, how am I looking? How do I appear?
I think it's hard. It's so hard. And I can't even tell you the exact answer. Sometimes I just have to block it out, and I can't judge myself. If I judge myself, that's when I start thinking, oh my gosh, people are nitpicking me. People are judging me.
Right.
Like, they're going to see this imperfection. Like, kind of like I told you before we started on set, you get what you get with me.
100%. Yeah.
This is the real me. If you see me in real life, you're going to see me. So what you see on social media, you're going to see me.
I feel it though energetically too. Like I don't feel a front. I feel like you're open about the nerves today and we're open about this thing. So that's awesome. But sorry, continue how you.
No, yeah. And I just kind of give myself grace. And honestly too, being open on social media. And it is scary and it is hard. When I was going through hormonal changes and I did gain a lot of weight, I never shared that because at the time I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. I was just gaining weight and I'm like, holy crap. Like, I don't know what's happening. And I just took it as a bulk. I don't know. Like I was just, but I was still posting and just showing up. And you know what? It's for me, it's great to be able to look back and like, you can see the journey. You can see the realness. And I hope other people can see that.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the best heart. Not just to be real. Not everyone has the heart that I have, and giving other people grace. And it is what it is. That's my mindset. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. But there's always going to be those people too that nitpick everything you do apart.
And I hate to say it, but that shows more about them than it does you.
Absolutely. I always say that. And I'm like, if someone's going to sit here and probably judge me for trying to have a podcast or whatever and not step inside, maybe just, I feel like, not that not everybody's happy for people, but I think if someone's judging you or judging something that you're doing, that I believe they're already below you, which I'm sure you have a similar mindset, being an entrepreneur and being like so much so online, and part of you has to be okay being perceived and judged. So how do you kind of deal with the haters? Like what's your thing?
The block button.
The block button.
Oh, I love it.
You're like, out of sight, out of mind.
Yes. No, literally. And if even like a situation is not sitting right with me, block. If it's causing me any mental stress, blocked.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't want to deal with it. Literally out of sight, out of mind. I don't have time. I don't have energy for that. Like I said, I'm pouring my energy into my girls.
Yeah.
If you are not with it, bye. Why are you here? You don't need to be here.
Right. I completely agree. Yeah.
I will say I've been very blessed. I don't get a lot of haters on my page. And I hope I'm not like jinxing myself. Like occasional I'll get the like troll page, right? I mean, that's normal.
Right.
But my page, I think I've done a great job at building that authentic, positive. Like just vibe community.
Right. Yeah.
And I hope to just continue that.
Yeah. I feel like when you live authentically too, you're going to attract that type of follower and that type of person with your journey. There'll always be those one or two sprinkled in there, but
and it's so funny whenever it is only one or two, I'm like, I know who this is. Like,
you're like, y'all just being haters.
Yeah. Like I probably recently pissed you off, so I probably know who you are. Like,
like whatever. Yeah. I love it. Okay. So, we talked about pressure online. So let's talk less about online. How has your journey evolved? I've seen some things about you used to do bodybuilding. Okay, so talk a little bit about that. And like, I've heard a lot of things on the internet about like the toxicity of bodybuilding, but also the upsides to it. So just kind of like, how did you get into that? What was your journey? Do you still do it? Would you do it again?
Yeah. Okay, so I competed December of 2020. In the beginning of 2020, right before COVID hit, I went through a really bad breakup as well. And it just got me back into my fitness journey. I was off of it for a little bit. I was just like kind of not caring. COVID hit. I really low-key didn't care. I was drinking a bottle of wine at night, and I was like, oh. And so I had a coach that I worked with prior to COVID hitting. And so after 2020, all the pandemic, all the things, I was like, okay, I need to get back on it. Like, I just don't feel like myself. This isn't me. So I reached out to my coach and hired him again. And I was actually working with him at the time with coaching. and he was going to compete in a show. And when I'm on my diet, I'm so strict on my diet.
Yeah.
Like my thought process, and I hope my girls have this thought process too, but like I'm investing in a coach, like I'm hiring someone, like my money, my hard-earned money is invested. I'm going to follow it to a T.
Right.
I'm not messing around. Right. So that was my mindset. And I was already prepping for a show without prepping for a show.
Right.
And I got really great results. And my coach was going to do a show in December. And I was like, man, I think I want to do a show, like just for the fun of it, like just for the plot. You know?
Just for the plot. I want to do it. Yeah.
And I was already in good shape. I knew I had some ways to go, and I had already lost like 20 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I can do this. And so when I decided to do it, I lost another like 6 pounds, and then I hit a plateau. Girl, it was so hard. I was like, oh my gosh, my show is in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not changing. Like my body's not changing. Like I'm not show ready. And I was so hard. And I was so close to quitting. And I told my mom, I was like, I don't think I can do it. She goes, no, you're not quitting. I have seen you lay on the couch crying because you're so hungry and tired. I have seen you put in the work. Like, girl, I was doing 2 hours of the Stairmaster 7 days a week.
Oh
don't do this.
Yeah. We don't recommend
this.
this.
I don't recommend this. This is not normal. Like I was eating like, I don't even want to say how much. It was like 1,000 to 1,100 calories. Yeah, I'm 5'10". I'm a big girl.
Yeah.
That's like what a toddler's eating.
Right. Yes.
Girl.
Per day.
And I was just so depleted. I was in the gym for 3 hours a day, and it was just a lot on my mental. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I had been prepping for so long already. My mom was like, absolutely not. You're not quitting. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And so I talked to my coach, and I was like, we need to do something. Like if my body doesn't change, like I can't step on stage like this. Yeah. So we did what's called a refeed, and we increased my fats a little bit, and my body, boom, started like changing really quickly. And I got down to, I think about 144 pounds again, which for me, that's it's really small. Yeah, like I'm 5'10". I'm a big girl.
I've been 144 and I'm like 5'3" for reference.
Yeah.
Like,
so I felt like I was all head.
Yeah.
And butt. Head
like I was a bobblehead.
I was so skinny.
Yeah.
And so I will say show day was a lot of fun. It was stressful, but it was a lot of fun. Like being on stage, like feeling like a Barbie doll. Like it was great. It was a good time. Yeah. After the show, the rebound, like I went through a lot of hormonal issues. Right. I didn't know I lost my period for like 3 months.
Yeah. I feel like nobody talks about this.
Yes.
Let's dive into that.
Yeah. Like, so my hormones were completely out of whack. I lost my period for 3 months and I was like, this is not normal. Yeah. And then, girl, I went through this disgusting binge eating phase. Yeah. When I tell you anything in sight, I was like, I need it. I need to eat that. Like, and it was
you were
sick.
so restricted
I was.
for so long. Yeah. And that's the premise of eating disorders.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So you're restricted for so long. I mean, I dieted very strictly for 9 months. The only time I had a cheat meal was when I was told, hey, you can have this. Right. And having to order groceries delivery because I can't step into the store.
Without,
I can't
like dying at all.
No, literally. Or without just wanting to mentally just like off myself because I'm like, oh, I can't eat this. And it was just a mental battle every single day. So I was getting meal preps made for me. And then whatever else I needed for breakfast, I was getting it delivered because I could not have extra food in my house. Yeah. And after the show, we went out to eat. And then on the way home, because the show was in Dallas, girl, we stopped at like 5 different fast food restaurants and got something from every single thing. It was gross. And that did not stop for like probably a week. I just literally could not stop eating. And then after that, even months and months went by and I just continued to I would be driving down the road. I'm like, oh, this sounds good. Oh, this sounds good. You know? And I was like, at that moment, I was like, this is not okay for me. Yeah. Like, I need to do something.
And I feel like mentally too. So I've struggled with an eating disorder too. I had a bulimia when I was younger. So a lot of binge restricting, a lot of negative talk around food in our house when we were younger. So yeah, it was the core of like restriction. And then I'd go to my friends' houses and sneak over snacks and like run upstairs. So you kind of, when I do go through my workout phases or where I'm super restrictive, I always end up kind of binging or going through a binge cycle. And I would go through this cycle of gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. And so you experience a little bit of that through this competitive training. And I know half of, training these girls also is going to be you're incorporating your diet as well. That's also like a good 80%. What would you say it's 80%?
With my coaching, I would say the diet is, like
80. A good 80.
Yeah.
So
and I always tell them that, girl, you like, how you look, how you feel is 80% nutrition, 20% working out.
Yeah. How did you personally adjust to like your body was so small, so like you were seeing it in this state for so long? How did you, when you started gaining that weight back, like how did you mentally adjust? Because for me, I'm like, I'll get on the scale every single day. I'll look in the mirror and I'm eating it alive, but you're not. You get stuck in your head. How did you deal with that?
I did have an ugly mindset, and I did talk very ugly about myself. I would call myself a fat piece of shit. Like, it was not well. And to other people, they're like, girl, you look amazing. But like, I hated how I looked. I really just felt uncomfortable in my clothes again. Like, I was wearing all black. Like, if you see me now, I love to wear colors. I love to be in my little shorts and sports bra. Like, that makes me feel cute. I was wearing all black, covered up. Like, I was just not happy. My face was so puffy. It was like
about a bunch of inflammation too. Just
so
the
much
stress
inflammation
of your body will make you swell.
Yeah. So it was just I was kind of hiding for a little bit, and I even look back at videos now. I'm like, oh my gosh, my cheeks were like out here. But I just dealt with it, and I knew like this is a consequence of your actions, girl. Like you're over here eating, so it was really hard mentally, and I did have to take a break. Just from, of course, not coaching. Like I'm not going to give up on my girls, but I lost the love for the gym. I lost the love for just being healthy again, and I started to drink again, and I started to like go out on the weekends, and it wasn't until I met my ex-boyfriend. I met my ex-boyfriend.
It's okay. They're always there for a reason.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
I'm like, felt girl.
He taught me balance. He was like, you don't need to eat all the food on your plate.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't. Like, what?
Really? I bet I'd be offended at first. And
No.
Actually, wait, you're kind of right.
Well, no, because he's like, and his thing was, I would tell him like, oh, I have to finish it. And then I'm like, oh, I'm so full. Like, I feel gross. He's like, why do you eat until you feel like that? Like, you don't have to feel like that. And I'm like, oh, you're right, I don't. And I would see him do it. I'm like, oh, he can actually put his food away. I can put my food away. Yeah. And it was like, okay, like I can actually do this. And, then we're going out on our date nights and we're having a good time. We're having a good drinks. And so I started to really find the balance. And I was like, wow, like I can still eat good, healthy food. And on the weekends, I can still enjoy myself without overindulging, without completely going off the rails.
Or restricting.
Or restricting. And I was like, okay, this is what it is.
That's awesome that you say that, because I've researched a lot about intuitive eating. And so, having an eating disorder, dysregulated eating myself, I've come to realize too, like balance is key. Yes. If I'm craving something, go get it, because what's going to happen is I'm going to overcompensate and I'm going to eat it a few days later, or I'm going to eat. I think the mindset that I have too, I don't know if like girls can relate to this, but when I was binging, it usually would start with like eating one thing bad in the morning, and then it starts a shame cycle in my head of like, okay, I ate this one thing that was really bad, so the rest of the day has to be really bad. Like there's no recovering from that. And I think that's just like a hard truth, a hard reality of being in the fitness world, trying to like upkeep your body hormones. I feel like a lot of people they don't talk about that. This is really cool that not to talk about your ex or give them credit or anything, but I feel like people come into our lives and teach us really important lessons. I can relate there as well. And that's really cool because he taught you how to intuitively eat. And so I guess talking about food and stuff, talk a little bit about how you help your clients or kind of guide them in the direction to like find balance with their eating, and like how do you emphasize like, hey, I can help you and train you as much as possible, but there's another 80% to this that you got to do on your own. So how do you kind of help women with that?
So now through my app that I coach with, I incorporate recipes. And the recipes are actually great food that's structured to hitting your macros, hitting your calories, to where, girl, you can have pasta. And to them, it's like, oh my gosh, what? Or they can have tacos, and they're like, this fits my meal plan. Like, yes, it does. Because it's showing you like, hey, you can make a healthier version of what you want to eat, and you don't have to eat a super large portion again.
Right.
So the recipes, I think, really help them. Prior to even working with the app, I would just tell them like, girl, if you need to go out, like, I'm not going to judge you. Like, I think that's the biggest thing when people hire a coach. They're like, oh my God, I need to be like 100%, or like they're going to fire me or whatever. Yes. And I let them know, like, I'm all for balance. Yeah. There is a time and place for it. I'm going to be hard on you the first month or so. Yeah. Because again, you're investing your money, and I need to see if this plan is even going to work for your body. Like, I need to get to know your body. So I let them know like, hey, I need to get to know you. Like, I need to see what's going to work for you. There is going to be a time where we can incorporate more balance. Right now, I need you to be a little strict, right? Yeah. And they're typically like, fair. I like that. Cool. And but once we do start getting results and once we do start getting the hang of things and I can see that they can be consistent, then I let them know, like, hey girl, go enjoy yourself. Like, go have a treat meal, go do your thing. Let's get right back on it the next day.
Like, you're providing structure, but also you're not creating shame around it. And I feel like that's the best way to do it. So many people have shame around the mistakes, but you're creating this safe space for them to be like, you know what, it's okay, I'll bounce back. And I think that's really crucial in fitness journeys too, because when people do get into these fitness journeys or you're on these like super restrictive cycles, you can get really hard on yourself. And you can very quickly start this shame cycle. And that also, I feel like, ties into weight fluctuations or, you know, going really hard and then it comes back and you're not, I feel like it's also kind of training your mind in a way about your relationship around food and not to shame it and stuff. So it's very awesome that you can provide that for them. I made a good first call on who I wanted to bring on. I was being very picky. I was like, I need to wait for the right person.
As you should be.
I was like, it took a minute and I was like, I don't know if I actually want to do whatever, but I was like, I'm going to wait till I find someone that I feel like has a lot to share and a lot to say. And when I met you at Girlfriend Social Club, I was like, this is a real bitch. Like, she knows what's up. Like, she's real. I got those vibes from you. The way like you answered stuff was like, you knew what you were talking about. And I was like, she's going to be a good person to bring on. Was there ever a moment you realized any of your fitness goals were unhealthy? Where you like got to a point and you were like, okay, you kind of had to.
Yeah, it wasn't until after my show.
Okay.
And I knew when I was prepping, it wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And I would even share that online. I'm like, don't do what I'm doing. I wouldn't share how much cardio I'm doing. I wouldn't share my macros or what I'm eating because I wouldn't want someone else to do that.
I respect that so much.
And because it isn't. And bodybuilding is an extreme sport. Yeah. And it's not for the weak. It's not. Yeah. And to answer your question that you asked me earlier, never say never, but I would probably never do it again. Yeah. I'm just in a very different space at the time or now. At the time, I was single. I was just training. Like, I had nothing else going on for me. I mean, now I don't have either, but you know, like I was just focused in on that and myself and locked in. And I did a full plot. It was fun. It was an experience and I don't regret it whatsoever. It was an amazing experience. But yeah, I did feel I was like, this is definitely not healthy. And I knew that going into it. Yeah. And I didn't know exactly what the repercussions were going to be. And I thought I was going to be mentally stronger than to rebound like I did, than to binge eat like I did. I truly thought I was going to be able to have a better grip on it. And I didn't, you know, and I like to say I am a very mentally tough person. Yeah. I can handle a lot, but that was hard. Yeah. That was hard.
What words of advice for the people that do want to go into this training? Like, if you looking back at yourself, you're like, oh, I wish I would have known this mentally, or maybe I've heard people go to therapy before they start. So they're like in a good mental state. But what would you recommend to the people that do want to give it a try so that they can avoid mistakes that you felt you made?
Don't do it because you hate your body. Mm-hmm. Don't do it because you feel like you hate it and you need to step on stage to look good. You're not going to get far with that. Yeah. Do it because you love your body. Do it because you genuinely want to see what you're capable of. Do it like for the challenge. Don't do it for the discipline or because you want to just because. I wouldn't do it just because. Right. Like, I would genuinely say you have to be really wanting to do it and know that this is a decision that you got to stick to it. Like, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to do it and tiptoe in. Like, no, you have to be 100% in.
Yeah, and you got to kind of check in with yourself. I feel like, me being me, I'm super impulsive. Just like literally this podcast, I was like, I'm just going to do a podcast. And you're not like kind of thinking through like the intricacies of it and stuff. But you have to be very careful, I feel like, with fitness and the bodybuilding and the competitions because it can really like mess with your mental health.
Your mental health, your hormone health, your whole body. Yeah.
So you're like, I'm good. I did it once. Never need to do it again.
No. Yeah. Cool. Good. I don't even think I could date anyone that
does bodybuilding because you're like, I'm sick of being around it.
No, literally, get that chicken and rice away from me.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. Yeah, were you like sick of all the fast food after? Or you're like,
oh yeah. Even now,
I'm repulsed.
I'm not a big fast food girl. Yeah. Like, just because I don't like the way it makes me feel. Yeah. Like, I want to eat good food that makes me feel great. You know, don't get me wrong. Cane's should be calling my name sometimes.
She can get it. Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
She can get it. It's like that Bella Hadid. She's like, you come through with these. You come for some Chick-fil-A or Cane's.
Period. But yeah, genuinely, I just would rather not eat that anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like, because because I know you're a fitness coach, but I assume that you've done a lot of self-education on nutrition. So kind of like give us some knowledge, some tips about just how foods affect your mental health and in the body. And then also, so I don't forget asking you this, tell us a little bit too about working with women with different body types. What's your perspective on that? Like, how do you gauge, you know what, she might be more top heavy or she might have a hormonal thing? Because women, it's so different. I feel like men, y'all eat y'all chicken and rice and you can lose 10 pounds like that. Literally. For women, it's like we got hormones and I have PCOS. So it's like, for me, I can't weight lift in certain areas. It's like, it's going to look different for every person. Right. So how do you go about, I guess, telling women with different body types, different hormones, like how do you factor that into your programs?
Yeah. So if they are, I'm big on blood work, right?
Yeah. Good.
I'm very big on blood work. I am always recommending if we get to a point where I'm working with you for months and we're still not making progress. I've tried lowering carbs, upping fats. I've tried lowering fats, upping carbs, and lowering your protein. And I've tried all those things and nothing's working. And you're 100% following the plan. Like you're not just messing around.
Yeah.
I like to say, go get the blood work done so we can see, because at that point, there's not much I can do.
Right.
Right. Like I've tried all my tools or most of my tools on my end. Now your body's just being a little different.
Yeah.
So to answer your question on like the type of food, right? You have PCOS.
Yes.
So I would recommend a lot more fish, a lot more nuts, right? Like almonds, something that's going to be a little easier to digest and a lot of things like that. That's not going to just put more strain on your body.
Right.
Sweet potatoes are great. They're just easier to digest and things like that. And it's going to make you feel better.
Yeah.
And I have noticed when I do take that approach with my women who have hormonal imbalances, it sucks because they do have to be a little more restrictive.
Yeah.
And I don't love that because I am big on balance, but it's the hard truth.
Yeah. It's hard truth.
It's the hard truth. And, I had to say like, hey, we have to buckle down a little bit. I need you just to do this. Let your body get in its happy place. We have a lot going on, minimizing dairy. I know it sucks. We all love cheese, but we're going to have to get away from it for a little bit,
Yeah. I feel like too, like even with me in my own fitness journey, I was a soccer player. So I grew up playing soccer for years. Nice. And when I left soccer and I tore my ACL, I was so used to having such a high caloric intake because I'm working it off. Yeah. I'm running like 10 miles a game or whatever. Yeah. So when I got out, my eating habits were still the same and it was really hard for me to adjust. So when I kind of got out when I was in college. So my freshman year was like I gained weight and lost weight again. Then I was drinking and going out and whatever. So I really struggled with that. But on top of that too, it's like my body type is so different. So like, for example, my sister has PCOS too, and hers looks vastly different from mine. She's a tall, slender build, but she doesn't struggle with anything like the hirsutism or the hormonal acne or the water weight and stuff like that. Hers is kind of rooted in, mine is rooted in adrenal issues. So I have overactive adrenal glands, which is the stress hormone. Yes. And if I don't have that under wraps, I'm going to retain weight in different areas versus my sister. It's actually like rooted in her, she had a real cyst on her ovaries. Right. So, but she didn't have the symptoms I had. So when her and I work out, it's like she can do a bunch of weightlifting and like her cardio looks so different from mine versus like, so, I mean, I don't even think I know. I'm like, I need to work with you, but what would you recommend to people who don't really have a grasp on that yet? Like, where do you start?
I was just going to tell you.
I'm like, she's like, perfect.
You want to do things that are not going to raise your cortisol level, right? So HIIT workouts, it's going to put a lot of strain on your body. Like you're just doing a lot of running. Long distance running, I don't love. I know
like, great. I was raised with that.
I know, literally, yeah. And it's the thing right now. Like all the run clubs, everyone's a runner now.
What the heck?
And I'm like, ladies, and it's to be honest, it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Walking is amazing. Get on that treadmill, increase the incline. Steady state cardio is going to be your best friend because it's not going to spike your cortisol levels like that. And it's still going to get your heart rate up to where it needs to be. Yes. You're still going to be getting your steps in. You're still going to be moving your body. Walks will be literally like your best friend. Yeah. That's all you'll probably need for cardio. Yeah. And you can weight train. You just want to take your breaks in between. Again, it's not going to put too much stress on the body and it's going to help you in the long run. Yeah. So weight training, like light weight training, do your leg days, do your upper body days, split it up. You don't have to do full bodies, nothing crazy, no burpees, nothing like that. Yeah. And then do your steady state after your workout. And I promise you'll really start to see your body change.
Good. So I don't have to run like 50,000 miles.
You do not. You do not.
Yeah. I feel like Run clubs are great for the community and stuff, but
Yeah. Keeps you accountable.
Yeah, keeps you accountable. It's great for building a community and working with people. Some people need that structure. I'm like, and there's nothing wrong with that. My mom is a physical therapist, and she's also super into holistic healing and stuff. Also, I wanted to bring you on because I told my mom, and I was like, yeah, I'm bringing this influencer on, but she's a trainer. Like, and she goes, oh my God, this is perfect because this is all I've known my whole life. She was an almond mom though. My mom was like, I'm just like, girl, she was part of the restriction, not intentionally, but I think you absorb that like when you're being raised under it. Yeah. So, but aside from that, she's been super, super great, like educating me on just the harmful things, the inflammation, the sugars, the alcohol. She hates when I go out and drink with my friends and stuff. But what was I gonna lead this into? Okay, we talked about PCOS, cortisol levels. Yeah, so running clubs are good, but it's like my mom has talked about too, a lot of the stress and impact on your body. So I think
even running, it's so hard on the joints, recovery. If you're weight training and then you're going for long runs, it's going to be harder for your body, your muscles to recover.
Yeah, so that 12 through 30 is like,
it is good. Top tier.
Yeah. I feel like when that was like, I feel like that started trending like when TikTok came out.
Yeah,
like I never really heard about it until like we were in COVID and everybody was like trying to figure out a type of workout, but that changed my life. Like 12 through 30, like that's all I do. Like I'll go lift, like low weight, kind of not stress my body out too much. I also have really bad knees. I've had knee surgeries from soccer and stuff. So I don't do a ton of squatting because I need to get my joints and my ACL and all that in line. But yeah, I mean, slow paced walking. And I feel like that's also with a high incline.
Even if you do it at 7, it doesn't need to be that high, to be honest. Like that is a great workout, but if you're just starting out too, I want to share this. Yeah. Incline 7, speed like 2.7. Yeah. Do it for 15 minutes, just starting out. Yeah. You're going to feel really great afterwards.
Do you have any tips for like, I feel like people get turned off from like the treadmill and the time. Like I watch TikTok when I'm walking.
I love watching TikTok. Also covering the time with a towel or like a t-shirt or something, so you don't really see it. Like, because when you're just looking at it, you're like, oh my gosh, I still have 10 minutes left, or I still have 5 minutes left, and it just like keeps going. Covering that. Watch your favorite like Netflix show, podcast. Yeah. I really like to listen to like praise and worship music, and I like to pray while I'm doing my cardio, especially when I'm on my outdoor walks. I feel like it just really grounds me and connects me. Yeah. So things like that, whatever's gonna fill you up, like try to take that time and make it intentional.
Yeah, I love that. You are a businesswoman on top of being a fitness trainer. This is a business you're doing, so there's a lot of that mindset going on that keeps you like very preoccupied. So how do you maintain your personal relationships on like your real friends and you know your clients are your friends, and I understand that, but how do you do both? How do you manage both?
You know, it's funny. I recently have gotten really close to a few of my clients, and I really love it. I think it's just so genuine and so great. But like anything, you have to prioritize it, right? You have to prioritize yourself, but also your friends. And I've learned, you know, going through the breakup and going through like different situations, you need your girlfriends. Like don't neglect them. Don't neglect them. We all have a lot going on, but make time for the important people in your life, just like you make time for yourself. Because at the end of the day, they're going to have your back. Yeah. And I am so grateful for the group of girls I have in my corner. You know, after my last event, I had one of my girlfriends ask me like, what do you think is like the biggest takeaway you've had this year from Booty Brunch and Bubbly? And I literally said, just being the person that provides a space for these girls and being the person that allows them. Because I used to be such a mean girl. Like, I didn't have girlfriends. Like, when I was 18, 19, I like would walk down the street. I'm like, why are you talking to me? I think we all go through
that phase. Yeah. I did too. Yeah.
And I didn't love that, you know? And now that I'm older and like I really value the importance of friendships and knowing that, girl, you can't do everything by yourself. Like sometimes we do need help. Like I know you're a strong, independent woman, but it's okay to ask for help sometimes. Yeah. And especially with the events, girl, I'm a one-person show. Like I could not run these events without my girls behind my back, and I'm so grateful for them.
Yeah. That's awesome too, to just see like how you've evolved and how you can recognize like how I was. I feel like a lot of my mean girl, whatever, it's masked insecurity. Yes. It's masked. There's a part of myself that feels unhappy. So it's really cool that you recognized that about yourself way back when, and now you're like able to evolve and create this safe space for women to come and create these relationships where it's like a non-judgment free zone. I love that. Super.
You still need to
super
come to
inspiring.
one.
Girl, I'm coming. I was like, I already told people about it. I'm like, I'm coming. That's the next thing on my list.
May 10th is the next one.
May 10th is the next one, guys. Go to Booty Brunch and Bubbly. So let's see. Oh, we did that. What was the inspiration behind naming it Booty Brunch and Bubbly? Because it's like, okay, booty girl, like, is it butt workouts? Like, what do you actually do?
Yeah. So the very first one was booty and bubbly.
Okay.
And I knew it was just going to be a light booty workout with just booty bands because I didn't have equipment and we were in LYC. It was small studio. And I knew I didn't want it to be just a boot camp because I did that prior, like years ago. I did just boot camps and I got very burnt out of it. And I wanted it to be more than just a workout. I wanted it to be girl time. I wanted it to be fun. So I was like, oh, mimosas. Like, duh. So we get a workout in and then have a little mimosa afterwards. Right. And again, I wanted to create that balance within my clients. I wanted to show them, girl, you can do both. You can have a good time and still work out. So it just worked out perfectly. And booty and bubbly, it just worked.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that part of that was you incorporating balance.
Absolutely.
Love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so after the first one, I was like, I love this. I need to keep going. And I have one of my best friends. He owns a meal prep company. And he's never catered before. And I said, friend, would you want to go in on this with me? I just did my first event, Booty and Bubbly. And I think it would be a really great thing if we did Booty Brunch and Bubbly and we can make this really big. Yes. And he was like, absolutely. Let's do it. Again, he's never catered before. I've never ran events on my own like this. Yeah. We're just figuring it out, right? And it's one of those things like you just got to go all in and do it. And that next one, we had about 20 girls and it was amazing. We sold out tickets like that same day. Like that's all we could sell was 20 because it's a small space. And I remember telling the girls they were eating and I was like, what do you think? Like how are y'all liking this? And they're like, oh my God, I love this. Like, please do this every month. And I just knew like, and how fast the tickets sold out and people were wanting to come. I'm like, oh, this is going to be something great. Yeah. And our next one, I think our third one, we did at a different location where we can host more. Girl, we had like 70 girls.
I love
it. Literally went from 8 to 20 to 70.
That is so sick.
And it was just so incredible. And ever since then, it's just been rocking and rolling and growing.
So when this, I'm gonna say when, not if, when it scales, what's the big picture? Like, do you want your own gym? Do you want what's the goal for Vero?
I don't know yet.
You know, okay. Sky's the limit.
Yeah,
you're
sky's
only 27,
the limit.
which is crazy. Like you have so much time.
And I love to say, at the end of the day, I just genuinely want to be happy. I can have a 5-year plan, 2-year plan, and God's going to be like, no, I got something better for you, honey. You know, so I really just have my faith in him and I really just go with the flow. You know, I'm really go with the flow. I do want to see us in like Frostbank Center. Like I want to see us in a stadium. Like I want to see us grow this really, really big, make it a really big thing. You know, where we have 200-300 girls. Like imagine like a bunch of baddies getting together, 100%. Feeling amazing, getting a great workout in, having some brunch and partying after. Like what?
It's so awesome.
It's just the ultimate girls' day.
It's so ultimate.
And so that's where I'm at. You know, I'm a pretty free soul. I'll say.
Well, we're in like such a great time to do it because everything is like so like you can scale things with social media so much. And I feel like you're bringing a bunch of like hot girls, they're getting their content, they're getting their workouts. So like this has huge potential. That's awesome. And I like that you kind of just like put your faith in God and you're like, this is out of my control, but if it works, it works. And it kind of like, it's fallen into place for you. So that's super awesome. Tell us a little bit too about your meal prep guy. What's his name? Give him a little shout out.
Yeah. His name is Angel with Fit Fuel Preps. Okay. He's incredible. I've been working with him since the beginning of the year or over a year now. So beginning of last year and always on point. The food is great. He does catering now. He's catered our events for over 100 people. He's very capable. The display, like always on point. He pays attention to detail. I love him. He's amazing.
And he'll cater like all the meal preps like to your diet or specific macro, or how does he do that?
Yeah. So I have my clients who are on like specific meal plans and he'll tell them, hey, I need this much of chicken, this much of rice, and he'll cater to that. Or if you just want basic healthy meals and he has a menu that he puts out every week, you order on Saturday, He cooks on Sunday, gets delivered or picked up on Monday.
Love. Okay. I'm like, ladies, I'm going to start using him because I'm so lazy and bad at cooking.
Use code Vero10.
Use code Vero10, guys. Okay, let's talk a little bit controversial. So a lot of people are on GLP-1 right now. 12 minutes?
Thank you.
There's a little bit less than 12 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up a little bit, let's talk some controversy. So a lot of people are taking GLP-1. So
wait, what's that?
it's like Ozempic.
Yes,
GLP-1. So a lot of people are on this, but they're also like doing their fitness journeys. Yeah. I've noticed that there's not a lot of people are getting on it, and there's not a ton of education about how you need to incorporate fitness. If you are working out, how you need to up your water intake, make sure sugar isn't dropping low. But I feel like doctors are not pushing this as hard. And so I was on it for a period of time myself. Also just is about to get approved for PCOS, which is super awesome. And endometriosis, it's regulating women's periods and stuff. It's showing some great studies. But a lot of people are on this on their fitness journey. So have you met or dealt with anybody yet that you've trained that's on it? And it's like, how do you cater to that?
I have multiple clients. And I will say it's a little challenging on my end because of the way that I work. I want to feed you.
Yeah.
I'm not starving you. And the shot, unfortunately, suppresses your appetite so much. So I can only do so much on my end. And I let them know that. Like, hey, this is not how I work. I don't support this type of eating.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. And again, and I let them know from the jump, I don't support this type of eating. I'm going to give you the meal plan that I think. Please do your best to eat it all. If you can't, I understand.
Yeah.
And you follow the workout portion.
Yeah. And I think a big thing too, when people do get on this is like, I don't know why it's not pushed enough, but you're supposed to eat. Like, you're supposed to eat the same amount or increments throughout the day, and work out with it like it's kind of an assisting thing. But what people are doing is they're restricting and they're not eating, and then they're gaining all this weight back after they get off because now you're creating.
They go back to the old eating habits.
The same habits. So for me, I'm like, the best advice I can give, like when I utilize it, I've been able to keep pretty much everything I lost off.
That's awesome.
And I guess the best advice I can give is my fitness, one, just staying active, but also building the habits while you're on it. So use it as something that you're not using it to restrict, you're using it to kind of assist you.
Use it as a tool. As a tool. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's an extra tool. I don't hate it. I know people, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. My mother, she needed it. Like she really did. And she's lost over 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And her knees are better. Her joints are better. Like she's having more energy. And it's like, I support that.
Yeah.
The people who genuinely need it, do it.
Do it.
But if you're looking just for the easy way out, I don't support it.
Yeah.
I don't support it because it's just going to be that short-term fix. You're going to rebound afterwards. And it's not, you're not in the mental space if you're just using it just to use it, just because.
Yeah. Use it as something that assists you and change your habits while you're on it. And I swear, I'm like, I've heard people are like literally passing out. They're like, oh yeah, I started Wegovy. This is like the fourth person I've heard this week. They're like, oh yeah, I passed out when I was driving, or I passed out. I was like,
because they're not eating enough.
My friends, and I'm like, y'all are not eating enough, and I don't know. We're just being handed this stuff, and it's like y'all have to
educate,
and work, and change your habits while you're on it, because you're gonna get off, and now your gut health is messed up. You're not eating enough fiber and stuff like that. I know we have
getting your vitamins in.
Yes,
you're very 100%. Depleted of your vitamins. Same thing with like the stomach sleeve. I've dealt with a lot of clients with that. And it's hard because they're eating so little. And I'm like, girl, you got to do liquid vitamins because they can't even take the pill, you know?
100%.
So it's tough. It's tough.
Crazy. That is tough. And it's like a controversial topic.
It is.
It's a miracle drug in a lot of ways. Like it helped me and it helped regulate my periods. And it's like amazing. And I've seen people on it lose weight and who are diabetic and stuff like that. But
I support it. Just don't rely on it. And also just be aware of the side effects. Eating healthy and working on yourself, genuinely eating healthy, going to the gym. There's no side effects with that, honey.
Yeah. No side effects with that. And it's cheap. And it's free.
And it's cheap and free.
So to wrap this up, I guess we can tie it back to hard truths. Like, what would you tell the people or people who are listening if they listen?
They're listening.
They're listening. Yes. They're listening because Vero's here. What's your one, if you could think of the very first thing that comes to your mind about fitness advice or starting a fitness journey, you would give someone?
Good question. I think go into it with the right mindset and know that your mindset will literally make or break your journey. You can start off very strong, but if you're just mentally weak, you're going to end up burning out or just giving up when times get tough. Like things are going to happen. Life is gonna life when you're on your fitness journey. You're gonna have a bad day. You're gonna have a bad week, maybe even a bad month. We've all been through it. And you're gonna get down, but you have to choose to get back up. You have to choose to not stay down. So as long as you are in a right mindset and you can understand like, hey, sometimes I have to go even when I don't want to go. That's what's going to make or break everything for you.
Yeah. So be in check mentally before everything.
Not even before, but just during. Like during just, and have a support system. It really is big. Who you surround yourself with, it's going to be, again, make or break, because your friends are like, ugh, you can't drink with us. You can't eat with us. And that's going to affect you mentally. So
but that's why they should go to Booty Brunch and Bubbly.
Exactly.
Because then you have a community of women who can do it.
Exactly.
So.
And my online coaching has a community within it.
I love it. So one last thing, what advice would you give your younger self? You're looking at little Vero Holland, because you're still on your journey. It's every day. And I tell this to people all the time, like, you look to me externally very put together. Like, this girl has it. She knows what she's talking about. But
thanks, girl.
The hard truth, the hard reality is, like, every day you're getting up and you're working at being a better version of yourself and checking in with little kid Vero. So what's one word or one thing of advice you would give to your younger self?
Like, everything's going to be all right. It may seem really tough some days, and some days are going to be really hard, but there's always better days ahead.
Yeah, I love it. And how do you feel about, like, I want you to kind of just hit this on too for like maybe a snippet, but kind of circling back to how you said, do it because you love it. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the followers.
Right.
Do it and do something because you feel you love it and it's authentic and it's real and it'll resonate and it'll hit. Like, the possibilities are endless if that's why you're doing what you do. Yeah. And so I feel like that's the core of your training and your fitness, and you love it, and you kind of give us a background. So what you want your like statement to be, your snippet to say?
If you have a goal and you want to achieve something, do it because you genuinely love it. Do it because you're passionate about it and because it can help others. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the clout. Don't do it for the plot. Do it because it's going to add some value into the world.
Yeah. I love it.
Period.
All right. Well, it was lovely having Vero on, Vero Holland. You can find her. What's your Instagram?
Vero Holland _
YouTube. I don't know. I can list all the things.
It's literally at Vero Holland _ on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
And Booty Brunch and Bubbly has its own account.
It does. booty.brunch.bubbly.
Love, love, love. And then we'll even tag your little, the guy who does your meal preps.
Yes,
we'll tag him
Angel,
too.
Angel Preps.
Love. And when is your next? Remind us of your next Booty Brunch Bubbly.
May 10th. It's going to be Mother's Day themed. So if you have a mama, you want to bring her.
I'm bringing my mom.
Yes.
My
if you have kids, you can also bring the kids. We're going to get a moon bounce. And so you can bring your baby daddy or your husband, whichever one you got.
Love.
And they can drink while they watch the kids and we work out.
And where is that going to be located?
River North Ice House.
River North Ice House, guys. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I think it's like everything aligned perfectly. If I hadn't met you that night, this would have never came to be. I don't even think I would have, like, I don't know. So it's just very interesting. And I think a lot of your story aligns and resonates with mine. And it's very awesome to see that you built it from the ground up and like you didn't have any help and you've created this whole business and community around you. And now you're helping people on such like a deep level.
Yeah.
But on like such a large scale. So it's very awesome to see. And I'm very fortunate that you took a chance on me to come and chat with me. Yeah. So I'll be forever grateful because who knows, it may take off, it may not, but you've been a part of my passion project. So I respect you a lot and very, very grateful. So thank you for coming on.
Yes.
And stay tuned for the next Hard Truths podcast episode. Not sure when that's going to be. We're going to try to get people on, but yeah, it was great having you. Like, we'll give a little